In this video, we are going to see what are the financial lessons we all should be learning from the book The Rich Dad Poor Dad. I wish I learned them earlier. We all want to become rich, right? But unfortunately, no school gives you that education, how to become rich or anything about finances. We learn all this from our parents. And what they tell us is what we believe about our money, even though sometimes our experiences shape our thinking about the money. In this book, The Rich Dad Poor Dad, the author comes up with 6 lessons that he learned from his own dad, whom he calls the poor dad, and his friend's dad, whom he calls the rich dad. Even though both were of the same age, they had different conceptions about money, and that is what shaped his thinking about money. The rich don't work for money. We have different ways of thinking in relation to money. Most of our decisions are based on our emotions, especially fear or desire. The middle class and the poor think about money in terms of only their needs and nothing more than that. Getting a good education, getting a good job with a good salary, that will help us pay the bills, save a little for the future, and finally retiring with some benefits. The driving force behind all these choices is fear and job security. The fear of not being able to pay the bills, the fear of starting over. And when we get a hike in the salary, all we think about is all those things that we have desired for so long and now we can afford them. We think only in these limits, but the rich instead live a simple life and they think about their money in terms of future. How can they invest money in assets that will generate them money even if they don't work? The problem is, even if we earn more, if we don't understand how money works, we will never get rich. Everyone needs financial literacy. What is financial literacy? In 1923, there was a meeting of all the rich men who were owners of big companies, who were real estate people. All of them met in a meeting, and exactly 25 years later, 9 of those people died in poverty. We have a lot of times heard stories of people who became rich over the night by winning a lottery, and after a few years they became poor again. How does this happen? Because money without financial literacy is money which will soon be gone. And what is financial literacy then? Just understanding the difference between an asset and a liability. It might look simple, but it's not that simple. An asset is something which will generate money in the long run, even if you don't put money into it. And a liability is something which does not. We, the middle class people, look at things like a house and a car like an asset. But in fact, they are liabilities. We are paying for our mortgage, we are paying for our car loan. And the rich, on the other hand, invest in assets like a business which can generate income for them, even if it's very small, in stocks, in real estate. But how do they do that? By keeping the expenses minimal, saving money and investing in assets when they can, and make money work for them in the future. This is the reason why the rich keep getting richer and the poor and the middle class stay where they are. And even when our income increases, we tend to increase our expenses. This is called high risk living, which means we might end up in debt very soon. Mind your own business. The owner of McDonald's, Ray Kroc, gave a speech at the University of Texas one day, and after the speech is over, he met all the students and then he asked them, what business am I in? Obviously the hamburger business, right? But he said, I'm not in the hamburger business, but in real estate business. Although the primary goal was to sell his food franchise to people, the people who were buying his franchise were also buying a place for the company. Even though the food chain was his main business, he was acquiring real estate for the company. So we need to have our own business even if we have a job. Profession and your business are 2 different things. You study hard to become a doctor, a chef, an engineer, a mechanic. You work for other people and grow their assets, and what we are left with is just our income statements every month. We look for a better job, a better education, which will help us get more skills. But even if you have all that, if you don't use the extra income to build assets, you will always remain poor. Building your assets is minding your own business. We think a car or house, all these are assets, but they are not. So stop buying something which isn't an asset, which doesn't grow your money. Rich people buy luxuries last, while the middle class and the poor people buy the luxuries first because they want to look rich and ending up in credit. Taxes. If we want to become rich, we need to understand how the taxes work. For a person who's working, we pay way more tax than someone who has a business. They know how to pay less taxes. When you are an individual, you need to pay tax on the money you borrow, on the money you earn, on everything. But the rich people form corporations to pay less tax, which means they earn, they spend, and then pay the tax on the remaining money, while the employees earn, pay the tax, and then spend the remaining money. Learning to invent money. The author says hard work does not help you earn money, but making strategic decisions does. The rich invent money, meaning they capitalize on every opportunity, they take risks and create multiple passive income streams which make them wealthy. Working for money is fine, but when we use that money to buy assets that build our income streams, like a business that doesn't need you to be there to actively supervise it, or a rental property, or a financial investment that gives you dividends, all these can help you get rich in the long run. We need to learn skills and get talented by doing the work, but you have to use these skills to open new opportunities for yourself in the future. Taking financial risks. When you take the path everyone else is taking, you'll end up like everyone else. When you try new things, explore different opportunities instead of being in your own comfort zone, you'll be able to see the opportunities which can earn you income in the future. We look for job security, but it is not as the same as financial security. Financial security is what you need to be looking for. That means even if you stop working today, how long can you survive with the money that you have? That is financial security. Sometimes when you're working a job, situations might change. You might lose a job. So, job security is not the goal. Financial security should be your goal. Developing multiple streams of income which will help you sustain even if you lose your job is what the author suggests we need to do. Taking calculated risks can benefit us way more than if we stay in our comfort zones and without taking any risks at all. So these are the lessons we all need to learn from this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, written by Mr. Kiyosaki. So I hope you'll take some good things from this video and you implement in your life to have some kind of financial security. So I'll see you in this video right here. Until then, you take care.